So we're going to go into our next testimony. Mardochee, are you ready?
I'm ready. Good morning,
Yes, let's
everyone.
go.
So my story is kind of interesting. Like, first of all, I'm not from the Bay, so I don't really know neighborhoods or anything. I had been thinking about buying a house for a little bit, but I had a lot of debt. Like, went to grad school. Then immediately afterwards, I became pregnant with my son. So I had like no money. And I was the type of parent, like, I'm not going to work OT because I need to focus on raising my child and work whatever my schedule shifts are. And that's it. So because of that, I didn't have like extra like income, and I've been co-parenting too. So it's just like, okay, like this is what it is. Then I moved here to the Bay, like the most expensive area ever. And I said I would never move here. And then I'm like, okay, I was like, I think I want to buy a house. I was like, I'm going to work. Pandemic hit, and like I work in the OR, so my bread and butter is surgery. So of course they shut down all surgeries. I'm like, I can't even work extra if I wanted to. Like, I'm just going to be smart with my money as I can. And I mean, God definitely showed up. I paid off my credit cards, my undergrad student loans. I was still living my best kind of life. And I spoke to Pastor Britt at the Oakland campus. She's like, you should check on Tamika. I was like, okay. She's a realtor. I was like, let's see what she's about. I'm like a stalker. Like what are her reviews? Like what is her grading on every single realtor website? Because I'm not gonna give anybody my money who's going to rob me or fleece me, and then I'll be homeless as a single mother with a child. Like, this is not gonna happen. Okay. I was very realistic, but I was very intentional. Like, I want a woman, I want someone who's of faith. Like, this is who's gonna help me find my house. Then I slid into her DMs. I'm like, hey, so I'm interested in buying a house. How much money you have? Like, not a whole lot. And I was, she said I could get you pre-approved, like through like FHA. I was like, okay, cool. Get my FHA loan. I hit up Elva, who's so sweet and wonderful. Then she told me what I was approved for, which was way less than what I thought I was gonna get approved for. I was like, the devil's a liar, but God is faithful. He's gonna make this happen. So we went, saw a few houses, and I found like my dream home. I was like, to me, this is beautiful. It was like 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. Like, this is great. She's like, people usually put about 10, 12 offers. I was like, no, my God is faithful. He'll do it the first time. Okay, stop playing. I started doing every prayer. Jacob, okay, if you could deliver Daniel from the lion's den, he can get me a house with my first offer. Okay, not too far over asking. That did not happen. I was like, oh, people in the Bay have like money. I was like, okay, that's fine. We see a few houses, and I was very intent. Like, this is where I want to be. Like, I'm going to be in West Oakland because I need my commute is not going to be crazy. My son's in the background, right? Sorry, love. Then I was like, it's Tamika, like, this. Yes. Sorry. I was like, this area better than I do. Like, I don't think I can afford here. So we're going to broaden our horizons and look in other neighborhoods as well. Like, I trust that you're going to find me something that I like within my price range in a safe area for my child. And I was like, and in my mind, I knew that I wanted a 5,000 square foot lot. I was like, my kid needs a yard and a playscape. I'm not going to compromise on that. Every time we see something, I get like emotionally attached. Like, oh my gosh, there's birds chirping. There are people in the yard playing with their children, people on runs. I'm like, oh, this is my neighborhood. And I'd get outbid, like something ridiculous. Then she told me I had to change what, like it's pretty much like the maximum, sorry, that I was going to be willing to, I had to decrease how much, like, if you see a house for like 500 or a million or whatever, so I'm going to go 22% over asking. So I had to like decrease what I was looking for. There was a house that I had seen, I loved it, but I'm like, I'm not going to get this house. Then 5 days later, I got an alert at 1 a.m. on Saturday morning talking about they dropped the house price by almost $100,000. So I hit up Tamika at 7 a.m. I was like, see, I know you told me I look at these prices, but they just dropped this by $100,000. I want to go see this. Like, is there something wrong with it? Because I already talked to myself about like, I'm not going to get this house. Then there just happened to be an appointment available that morning, and we were there a couple hours later. I'm like, I want this house. This is beautiful. She's like, I'm going to get this for you. Like, it was perfect. It was in Oakland, which I had wanted to because I had given up. She's like, oh, this is where you want to be. We're going to make this happen. I said, okay. So I started doing my research about the family. It was like a young couple, but I was like, why are there 3 people on the deed? Like, this makes no sense. I guess they had help. It was a young couple with a child who had help with their mother buying a house, and they had an FHA loan, just like I was approved for as well. Had to help them purchase it. And Tamika was like, okay, we're gonna give them like, what's your absolute, like your best of fun? Like, and I was at swim lessons with my son. I'm like, this is my number. I cannot go over this. Like, I do not want to go over it. Like, that's it, point blank, period. she said, okay, like we're gonna give them 24 hours. She's like, and if they don't, you're gonna walk away from this house. And I was looking at her like, you can walk away from this house, but this is where I want to live. Like, okay, this is my money. But I was like, okay. Then I had to reel it in. I was like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Then like the 25th hour, I was like, so Tamika, like, I haven't heard anything. What's going on? Where is this home? She's like, I'm gonna get back to you. So literally like the 28th and a half hour, because I was counting the time because I'm crazy. She's like, they accepted your offer because they wanted someone who like pretty much had a similar story to get the house too. And I was so excited. Then my next thing of worry came up. I'm like, what if the house is not appraised? So I was looking at comps, and the comps were like $50,000, $60,000 less. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just put myself in a financial bind. I already gave my earnest money deposit. I'm gonna lose this house and this money that I had saved that was just coming up. And I was just like, I don't know if this is gonna happen. And just to let you know, guys, tithing definitely works, because from tithing, I get like random money. Like when Pastor John told me like, oh, someone gave me a check, I was like, yo, out of nowhere, $10,000 came here. I forgot I had some random retirement account from when I was 21 that had like 20,000 in it that covered my closing costs. I was like, where's this stuff coming from? Like, I'm not gonna say it rained down from the sky, but it was definitely showing up. Like I was able to cash out some of my PTO to help cover a whole lot of like different projects that had to be done in the house. It's not like some miraculous, like someone dropped money on my doorstep. It's like I changed XYZ. I wasn't traveling because I spent a lot of money as far as like improving my credit and paying off. Like I would say I probably spent like a good 40, 50 grand to make sure I had like no debt going into this house. And I did a pretty like quick amount of time, and I was still able to just have like random money come through. So God showed up. So when they gave us the whole our paperwork, I went pretty much non-contingent, but there wasn't a report as far as inspection report. I was like, T, I mean, I guess should we not be contingent like for the inspection? Because I'm kind of nervous about that. She's like, going to put a contingency for like 5 days. Like they have to give you a report and you can pull out if anything. And I was like, oh my gosh, if all this happens and the report is horrendous, like I'm gonna have to give up on this house. Report came back, it was fine. And I was still waiting on the appraisal. The appraisal came in at exactly what I offered and could afford. And what I was approved for, like literally to the dollar, I was like, I can actually afford this home. It was so great. And then they want to like speed up the process as far as getting paperwork signed and like moving in. So that's my story. I was very happy. And I told myself I wanted 5,000 square foot lots. And that's exactly what I got. I said I need a detached space because I was like, look, I'm not going to compromise, right? I'm in my 30s. I have a child. Like, this is what I want. I want to be able to go for walks, right? I want somewhere that's going to be safe. And I want space to extend. And I got everything that I wanted. So for me, a miracle wasn't going to be like, oh my gosh, God's going to give me a mansion and I'm only going to pay half price. I'm like, he's going to give me exactly what I want in the location that I want at the price that I want. And that's what I got. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shay.
Hey, of course.
You got to figure something, and thank you for sharing. And the reason why it may seem like it's vastly different between Pastor Jana and Shay's, but really it's not. Understand that miracles happen in many different forms.
Mm-hmm.
Understand, look, let's just be real. As a single woman, single mother, mm-hmm. in the Bay Area, to be able to get a house, not a condo, not a townhouse, but a house.
Oh yeah, because I said I do not want a condo. Like I want land.
100%.
Single family home. Like I was very intentional. But
with over 5,000 square foot of a lot and the potential to do extra stuff onto it, like ADU or whatever, that's unheard of. In a neighborhood in Oakland, California, this is like it's miracles happen in many different forms, ways, and seasons. And it's not necessarily because it has to be under the value. And I gotta make people understand that. It's not like you're gonna get it for free or it's undervalued or you're not gonna have to pay what the market, no. The fact that it just, what the world says shouldn't happen right now, she just slashed it. And especially as a person of color at that, let's just be real. It's an amazing feat, and I'm excited for you to continue to make the house your home. Thank you so much for sharing. And hey, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns for Shay about home ownership, she might stay on a little bit later on, or you can catch her. Which campus, Shay? Oakland?
The best one, the Oakland campus.
Of course. You can catch her at the Oakland campus and shoot, have her pray for you, shoot, and give you a hug, hopefully, if you're, COVID friendly. But thank you very much, Shay, and give that baby a big hug for me. And it was a pleasure working with you. It really, really was. And hey, look, it has to be fun. It's stressful, but it has to be fun, right?